So, in the year of our Lord 2023, we witnessed the third movie in an Ant-Man trilogy. I'm going to tell you right now, watching Iron Man in 2008, I didn't think I was going to make that statement.
Right?
That is nuts.
Yeah, we've come a long way since 2008.
Yeah, we have. And
let me quickly just explain the synopsis for this movie because
yeah, you do that.
because it's incredibly vague, which I kind of love. So Ant-Man and the Wasp find themselves exploring the quantum realm, interacting with strange new creatures, and embarking on an adventure that pushes them beyond the limits of what they thought was possible. Yeah, that doesn't even begin to describe what happens in this movie.
Did you expect they were going to be in the quantum realm for the entire movie outside of maybe 5 minutes?
Actually, yes. Like I get why people were disappointed that Scott's crew was not involved, but there's a couple reasons for that. One,
I just realized now they weren't. I'm dead
is
serious. I didn't even think of that. I didn't care. I love his supporting cast, and I didn't care.
Okay, that's a positive.
I feel like a moron. I never realized they were.
Also, that's not entirely true. David Dalsmachin is in this movie, but he's voicing one of the creatures in the quantum realm.
Oh, okay.
But the reason why Michael Pena is not here and T.I. is not there, I actually don't have any idea why Pena is not involved. Probably scheduling conflicts.
Did something happen with T.I.?
Yeah, there were some serious allegations against him, so they naturally chucked him out of there.
That was always such a weird one that he got added into. I'm like, I can't think, like, I used to like T.I. as a rapper back when I listened to more mainstream rap. And then all of a sudden they're like, really had some bad crap happen that he disappeared off the face of the earth, like wasn't doing rap, wasn't doing anything. And all of a sudden, like, he's going to be an Ant-Man. What? How and why?
But yeah, that's why the crew is not involved in this one.
Yeah, Pena, I can almost guarantee you wasn't, because like I can almost guarantee you what Pena would have done is the intro and the outro.
Probably.
That blows my mind. I didn't realize that till now.
And you know what? That's honestly fine because A, it keeps the focus squarely on the family, and B, there's just honestly no room for them in the story.
No, this plot had no need for them whatsoever. None. And I would not have wanted them in the quantum realm at all. They would have been beyond useless, and you would have had to come up with so many excuses why they didn't get killed.
Mm-hmm.
Because as like as that much like Michael Pena as Luis, you just yeah. But man, as much as I was upset that the CW likes to cancel everything, I feel like the canceling Kathryn Newton did not get her Supernatural spinoff. And as much as I feel sorry for the girl that was in Endgame as Cassie, I'm very happy Kathryn Newton's in this movie.
Yeah.
She's and that was the only thing that I thought was weird, that it didn't have like 10 more minutes before the movie got done. They were just like, cast in jail, quantum realm now. I'm like, you weren't gonna do more than a couple of things of like, because the big thing he wanted to talk about was how he missed time with her. And I'm going to be honest, they addressed that sort of in the movie. but it's not as much as what I felt they were stressing talking about this movie. That sounded like the key ingredient to the whole entire movie.
I will admit it would have been nice to maybe see the reason why Cassie was thrown in jail.
Yeah. Even though they kind of didn't they mention that she was a part of them breaking up a homeless encampment?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
But yeah,
you for better or for worse, you can tell that this is a movie that only could have taken place after Endgame, after everything we've been through.
Yeah. Yeah, she was in. She fit like a glove. Just it went in perfect. She's a really good actress, and I'm happy she's getting some because I always loved her in Supernatural, and she just deserves something. So I hope this gets her more because she was really, really good in this.
And we are, as always, one step closer to Young Avengers.
Even though supposedly they said that there's no plans. Internally, the rumors going around that they have no plans. I'm like, you've introduced your new Hawkeye and Kate Bishop. You have Ironheart coming. You have Stature, right?
Yep, Stature.
What are we? What? Why? Who? What even?
I'm going to say this right now. I do not believe anyone who says there are no Young Avengers plans.
It's ridiculous.
I also believe that the Young Avengers will be formed either during Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars.
If the rumors are true, I believe it'll be during Kang Dynasty. Because the Secret Wars is from the rumors, and what would make sense if it's called Secret Wars is going to be Cameo City, USA.
Yeah.
So I'd be okay with that. And it's we'll have to see how all this works because you don't get an actor to get in a suit and to age them up to just not do anything, and it's weird. But yeah, so man, this is gonna sound like a weird statement, but I just have to say it. How does Michelle Pfeiffer somehow, in my opinion, look more beautiful than when she was in Batman Returns?
I don't know.
That woman is aging
weird
in reverse.
Science.
That woman is aging in reverse. I don't get it. I don't know. It was honestly distracted me during the whole movie. I'm like, you don't look like you have plastic surgery. You look 1,000% natural, but somehow you are aging the most youthful I've ever seen a person age. You're not like Will Smith and Keanu Reeves, you just don't. But yeah. So if you would have told me that realistically the first time we got to see Kang, realistically we got to see a version of Kang already, but the actual real first version of Kang in Ant-Man, I would have slapped you.
Here's the thing. On paper, yes, it does sound strange, but in the context of the MCU, he's actually the perfect villain for Scott Lang.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because throughout the trilogy, Scott has always been fighting against time that he's lost spending with his daughter. In the first film, it's because he was in prison.
Mm-hmm.
In Ant-Man and the Wasp, it's because he was actually no. In Ant-Man and the Wasp, he was spending time with Cassie, but under house arrest.
Yep.
And then the blip. And
yep.
Yeah.
I love how that is fully transformed into the blip. Not the snap. It was the blip. Because no one else knows that it was a snap. Oh, it has to be the blip. I just love that. But So yeah, we get all of that. I have a question. Did I have a stroke and miss Hope and Scott getting married?
Are they married?
Because I get that likely no, because they were dusted too. She's calling him Grandpa Hank.
I mean, it could just be an affectionate nickname.
I get that though, but it's so weird. And that was the thing where I was like, did y'all get hitched before this? Because I know you were doing well. And then at the very end of this, like, if this is the last Ant-Man movie, I'm like, how do we not? Hope and Scott's relationship throughout these 3 movies is the one thing where they could not figure out how to consistently pace it.
That's true. I will give him that.
And I love them together. I really do. It started out kind of just on a joke that would end, and I get it, just to get Hank mad. But and then they're good together. I genuinely that they have chemistry and all that. I'm not going against it. But that was just my one thing where it was like Grandpa Hank. I was like, that you met him when you were like, I don't know how old, but okay. Anyways, going beyond that, we're zipped in there right away. Right away. And instantly she was just like, oh no, we're screwed. One of the two of the dumbest complaints I've ever seen, and this is starting to become. I have a couple of things that bug me the most out of movie critiques, and it's gotten to the point because everyone has a freaking YouTube review for Movie Channel. Hypocrite sitting right here. One, and you know this of me, everything's only a 1 or a 10. I hate that. I hate it more than I breathe air. I could pitch about it for hours on end. Things are okay with being a fucking 5 or a 7. But I hate that if something even remotely looks like something else, it is a ripoff or is identical to it. Before this movie came out, I saw multiple reviews from multiple people telling
where
me
you're going with this.
that this was a Star Wars movie. How? Because there's multiple races in a place that have spaceships? Are you fucking kidding me? Is this what movie critiques have gotten to now?
I thought for a second you were gonna compare this to Spy Kids because of a couple shots that look similar.
I did see that, and I thought that was funny. It's dumb, but it was funny. But no, if anyone was ever serious about that Spy Kids thing, because I have seen that, go touch grass. For the love of God, go touch grass.
Agreed.
But the Star Wars thing, I'm like, oh my God, is this what everything is now? You can't have something with aliens in it without it being Star Wars? People. Come on. But I'm kind of just like, if this is going to be our one time going into the quantum realm and then we're just done with it, I'm okay with that. Show that there's weird shit. We're going into the multiverse.
I actually kind of hope this isn't the last time, but at the same time, I kind of get it. If you're only going to show the quantum realm once, you have to go all out.
Yeah. Make it be stupid. We've had the quantum realm help with a lot of things. For crying out loud, it was the key plot point to Endgame.
Yep.
Quantum realm's got a lot of love. And I don't want them using, oh no, we gotta time travel through the quantum realm again to beat Kang. If that ends on that, I will legitimately stop watching the MCU. I'll be done, because that is the definition of a retread. Oh yeah.
I don't think they would do that. And if they did, they would find a more creative way to get there.
Yes. But anyway, I like that they got separated once they got in there. And I'm not even that upset that they rushed that Cassie had a suit that fast. Cause in that family, in that group of people, you're just kind of there.
That and 5 years is a lot of time.
It is a lot of time. And also, if we're gonna go off of things, and this is just my brain doing it because nothing in the MCU has said so. If Scott was gone and all of the Pims were gone, part of me hopes that Scott's crew was the one that was raising Cassie.
Now that would be funny.
And if any crew is gonna get you into just stealing shit or wanting to be kind of sketchy to do things the right way, it's gonna be them. But yeah, it was all pushed forward, and it's interesting how fast they were just like, literally everyone in the entire quantum realm is terrified of him. Without his powers. Because he didn't have them for half the film. And man, Jonathan Majors is like really good at his job.
He is.
This is like getting Thanos in Captain America, the First Avenger.
Yeah, kinda. Or Thor.
It's so weird how we have him that fast. Because, again, find out at the end of the movie, if we've actually found out Loki, it's not him. But
Seriously,
man,
Jonathan Majors, if that like last episode of Loki wasn't enough for you, this movie gives him a lot of room to really stretch his acting chops.
Yeah. I had to laugh. I was talking with someone. They're just like, that fight they have at the end, I think that was just Jonathan Majors being that jack that was hurting Scott Lang. It wasn't because he was king. Because if any of y'all saw the photos of Jonathan Majors before they started shooting, boy built like a tank. And if you've seen those Creed 3 trailers,
yeah, he's legit terrifying.
oh my goodness. That boy don't need lasers. Okay, what do we want to say here? It is weird how this movie had a lot of plot ideas going on in it at the same time. And it's one of the like legit complaints that I'm going to kind of
address
because it's like Scott's no longer needing to be an Avenger. I get that. But also, he's not needing to be an Avenger. It's not like he's denying being an Avenger. Nothing that would need his assistance would have came up. And it's missing the time with Cassie, which I thought was going to be the main thing. Then it kind of turned into you aren't helping people on top of not spending time with me. And kind of having an identity crisis with being an Avenger over just being Scott Lang. There was a lot of plot points going on, and then all of a sudden, like, Janet's hiding all of this and has been hiding all of it. It's the one complaint about this movie that I'm going to be like, there was a metric ass load of plot ideas going on in this movie. I think they did pretty okay with handling them, but dropping one or two of them would have been okay.
If I had to pick like specifically which one to drop, I would probably drop the whole maybe not resisting being an Avenger, but like at the start of the film it's kind of implied that like he's retiring from the superhero game, like, having written the book and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I get like some of that was just for comedic effect because this trilogy has been the most comedic out of all the MCU films.
You do not hire Paul Rudd to play a straight man. He
No,
can,
no, you do
but you
not.
don't do it.
But yeah, I think I agree that I would like I would like at least like 10 more minutes to have been purely the focus of Scott and Cassie's relationship.
I agree, because a good chunk of Scott and Cassie's dialogue in the first third of this movie is Cassie bitching at him that he doesn't want to help people in situations where Scott kind of has a point to where it is literally not their problem and they could be beyond fucked if they're stuck in a quantum realm. Did they like it's forgetting the point that Janet Van Dyne was stuck there for how many years?
30.
And it took them 30, and it took them that long to get her out when the smart people were on the outside. No Avenger knows they're in there. They'd be screwed. You can hop out and then be like, yo, we'll come back in when we know how to safely help you.
But since they were all stuck in there, that
it felt like an unneeded jab at Scott that he didn't want to be an Avenger kind of thing. Because, like, at the end of it, you have the moment, and we'll get there. But the thing he does at the end, I feel he's wanting to sacrifice himself to save Cassie and not to sacrifice himself because he feels like he needs to be an Avenger again. To me, anyway, that didn't seem like, oh no, I'm finally doing my job again. It's I'm saving my daughter.
Because that has been like the consistent theme throughout the trilogy. I just wish they would maybe push that a little bit more. Like it's still there, and that's why I
absolutely
ultimately love the movie. But I can concede to at the very least that criticism.
Yes. Okay, question for you. This is one of my other. This one I understand a little bit more because it's just like it's your own opinion's your own opinion. The other one I literally don't understand people. This one I kind of don't understand what people expected because comic books are comic books. Comics are stupid. You and me both love comics with all of our hearts, have read comics for probably between the both of us 40 years. 20 years each at least, you'd say, something like that. So, we have a decent amount of reading some dumb shit. Amount of you that have watched any video that I'm in, I will bring up Spider-Man Rain and the radioactive spider sperm every single chance I can. Comics are stupid. What were you expecting MODOK to look like? And why are you upset that he looks like a giant head when he's a giant head? Did you think he looked bad?
No, but there's something about MODOK that I think we need to talk about, and we can because the lower third.
Yes. It's oh my gosh,
Darren.
It's escaping me. Darian. I'm like, you know what? If he's gonna show up in this movie, to me that made perfect sense. Absolute perfect sense. And to have him be made by Kang makes absolute perfect sense.
Yep. All checks out.
Yeah, and like another one.
Keep talking. I'm gonna look up MODOK's actual name in the comics.
Oh, if he actually had a different one. Yeah. The thing that bugged me, people were like, another one that's close to the other complaint that I have is that they wasted MODOK in this movie. What in the actual hell were you expecting MODOK to do otherwise? And you know they're not going to play MODOK as a terrifying character in real life. It's MODOK. He is a flying head whose name is mechanical organism designed only for killing. He is the definition of a weird comic book character.
Exactly.
You can't play him seriously, and you can't expect that once he's out of the quantum realm, that literally any one Avenger is going to have issues with him. Kate Bishop could solo him.
This in the context of the MCU, this is the only place where it makes sense.
George Tartle had no idea. No idea.
Yeah,
Is
so
he-
the one change between the source material and the movie is, well, we all know Corey Stoll's character is original to the MCU, but in the comics, MODOK's alter ego was George Tarleton.
Never heard of it. Got no idea.
Yeah, nobody refers to MODOK as his human form.
No.
It's just MODOK.
It's just MODOK. And it's just like, anyone's just like, he's a one-off for this movie. I'm like, yeah, you probably wouldn't have gotten him outside of that animated Hulu series otherwise. Because again, it's MODOK. The only kind of complaint that I got from someone that I think would have been cool is they thought that maybe somehow, oh, now what's the character's name? Dude that got stuck in the computer.
Oh, Zola. Yeah.
But like, correct me if I'm wrong, and I want to say they showed this in Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Doesn't he just become a dude in a computer?
I
kind
don't
of like
recall.
Krang, but walking around. I thought he did. I could be wrong, but I swear they had that in Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, because that's the only other spot I've seen him other than movies. I swear that's what the thing was. If they would have changed it to that, that's fine. I wouldn't have had an issue with it. But again, you have to come up with a reason also why someone would become MODOK. We have in this movie a person who came up with a transdimensional corresponder for the quantum realm, and she's a teenager. Why would someone, as an adult with modern technology, turn themselves into MODOK? On purpose.
I don't know, man.
Like, even the leader doesn't look that dumb. And he has a forehead the size of the Empire State. But, yeah, and like having Corey Stoll, it's fine. If you're going to have a thing that's designed just for killing, and why he'd look messed up coming through the quantum realm because he got all shipped and bleh, that's fine to me. I had no issues with that.
Were you expecting a heel face turn, though?
I don't know if I would say I was expecting it, but I thought of two possibilities. One, Cassie was going to kill him because he almost killed her. So I thought in the end, Scott is not going to deal with him. Cassie's going to. I had that in my brain since minute one. Because I'm like, if you're going to have Cassie get rid of anyone, it's MODOK. Because again, crying out loud, it's MODOK. They made him 10 times more terrifying than in any other iteration of him I've ever seen. But like the heel turn I was going to be okay with. I think they were caking it on a little hard with how much he face turned himself, but he's gone. He was just in the other direction. But I do like, at that point, he's like, what am I supposed to do? I'm a head with legs. And then she's just like, stop being a dick. It's possible. Just stop. Do you know how often superheroes never do that? What can I do? How can I make up for it? Stop.
It's that simple.
It's that simple. Just stop. You haven't gone far enough to where you're inconsolable. Sure, in the first movie, you turn someone into a pile of goo, which is one of the most evil things I've ever seen, because he just wraps them up in a little piece of tissue paper and shoves them down a toilet. People undersell how cold-blooded murderer that he was at that point. But outside of that, the MCU people have done a lot worse.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one where they're like, people get mad sometimes when they get rid of MCU people and don't bring them back. Guess what? They brought it back and they used them again. Who else were you going to bring back? And Ant-Man 2, yeah. Ghost is going to be in Thunderbolts, right?
Yes.
Okay, I was going to say, that was the only other one that could have resurfaced, but she's in Thunderbolts. I liked it. I thought it was cool. And the moment when he did come in, I thought the line was a little overcheesed, but again, he doesn't know how to be a superhero, so it is what it is. I mean, like, half the time Scott doesn't know what he wants to say. But, yeah, I thought it was all right. And, like, if you're going to end him, let him end happy.
Agreed.
Yeah. Okay. So, man, a lot of this was just them getting the key or getting the engine. So that's a good chunk of the beginning of the movie or of all the movie. I will say that while he was attempting to get the key, that all of his personalities or extra hymns shut the hell up once they heard Cassie.
Yeah, that is actually a major highlight of mine. By the way, I should point out that I saw this movie in 3D.
And I bet that looked wicked.
Yeah. I didn't see it in Dolby 3D. Like that would have been mind blowing. I just saw it in regular, but still, I know a lot of people have complained about the overuse of the volume, which is like those LED projector sets.
Okay.
But for some reason in 3D, like though, like that, it makes the volume look so much better.
Yeah.
Maybe that's because there's already a sense of like unreality with this world.
Yeah.
That the 3D just kind of gets you more absorbed into that world.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the big highlights was Scott and Hope in the what do they call it? The probability field?
The probability storm, I think they called it. The freaking terms that start to come up with this, like, that just reminds me of the multi-dimensional. No, I can't remember what it's called. How they teleport to Nia's ring and Gur, and they make up some horseshit term that I can't remember what it's called. Multi-dimensional directional travel, what the hell ever they call it. I'm blanking it off the top of my head. But they also had probability altering missiles. That's another just thing they just made up. But the other thing I have to ask, because we really skimmed over this, and I legitimately forgot about it until it happened in the movie. Were you expecting Bill Murray to be there for roughly 2 minutes?
I knew that he was going to be in the movie.
Oh, me too.
I'm actually kind of relieved that he's only in it for like 2 minutes, because he would have felt distracting if he was more than just like a quick cameo.
And it's weird to me. I agree with you 1,000%. It's weird to me that he would be, because I have the two examples here. I have him and I have John C. Reilly in the first Guardians movie. John C. Reilly was being the typical John C. Reilly. Just acting like a normal type of character that he plays. Kind of somewhat normal dude, but he's still got the comedy to him. Not like the mid-early 90s John C. Reilly that was more serious, which he's good either way. I really like John C. Reilly. But then you get Bill, who was acting like normal Bill. It didn't distract me with John C. Reilly. He felt like he was in the movie. Bill didn't feel like he was in this movie. I don't know why, but I agree with you. He seemed distracting.
Again, it's why I'm glad he wasn't in it for too long.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's there for exactly the purpose that he needs to be.
Mm-hmm. And he's involved in something that I actually really appreciated about this movie. And it's a small interaction that takes no time flat, and I loved it. A lot of these times, you'll have these couples that, through whatever reason of the story, haven't seen each other in, let's say, 10 years. And then they get back together, they're a happy couple, but they found out that there was a past relationship and they want to rip each other's freaking throats out about it. They openly just talk about how they haven't seen each other in 30 years. Hank has no idea about this guy and then finds out that him and Janet had a relationship. And he's like, he's more upset about her taste than anything. And then he's just like, and then she's just like, you can't tell me that. He's like, no, I tried it with a girl before. Her name was Linda. He's like, why didn't it work out? She wasn't you. They're not upset. He's just like, I tried someone else and I was good. I wanted you back. I'm like, thank you. Movies never do this. It is such a CW style plot line, and I hate it.
Yeah.
What do you mean you tried to be a normal human when it thought you would never have me in your life again?
What I liked about that scene, just as a little like a little punctuation, is Hope just getting disgusted by their conversation.
Everyone stop. I don't even as a full-grown adult, she just, no, I don't need to hear about my parents having sex. Even in your 40s, no one wants to have that conversation. It was fantastic. That's great. Okay, so yeah, and then again, once it's there, all but just shoots on. I love how Hank's just obsession with ants will never end. And how his ants are so smart that they fell through a time loop within a time loop and made a society.
Oh, the payoff to
oh, it's fantastic.
The joke from the payoff from the joke at the beginning is just kind of perfect. And then they come in pretty much like the Ghost Army from Return of the King.
Oh, absolutely! It's literally freaking Hank Pym is freaking Gandalf at the top of the hill. Like, what do you want? And like, it's so good. And just, I wasn't expecting that. I was like, maybe a couple, but just literally an entire. You don't fight that. It's just like, that's Animal Kingdom showing that no, ants are terrifying. And also, speaking of ants, they literally had Ant-Man become an ant structure to help push the ant up to get him to the engine. I thought that was so clever.
Oh, yeah.
They literally do what ants do. And the last time I saw it in the movie was the movie Ants. Oh, do I feel old?
God.
Everybody remember when Ants and Bugs Life came out right next to each other?
Yep. And I had both on VHS.
So did I. I missed it when Pixar used to do fake bloopers. Please bring that back. They were so good. I will be in my trailer. But yeah, so here comes to the point of where I physically feel people are going to bitch about things just to bitch about things because they don't understand how reality works. The number one complaint I saw in this movie is that everyone unanimously that even liked it or didn't had this one similar complaint, and it is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, that they wasted Kang.
No, they did not.
How do you even... He doesn't make it out of this movie. Were you expecting him to kill everyone of the hero team, sprinkle their ashes in a fire, and roast wieners over it, and then just be like, ha ha ha, I will kill all the Avengers now, and I'll be on my way to my maritime ship? What were you people expecting? It's one version of Kang. How did you not realize this is what was going to happen?
And plus, how many times has Kang lost in the comics?
All the time!
Exactly.
The part of him being terrifying is that he always comes back. Because he's a time traveler from an alternate dimension, from different worlds. That's what makes him terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
How on God's green earth did you... And no one will explain it. They're just like, he wasn't in it enough or didn't do enough. I'm like, no, you don't get to just not break this down at all. You need to explain it because you're just trying to find problems at this point. If anyone was wasted, I could have got 10 more minutes of MODOK.
Same.
Go ahead.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, you can like or dislike this movie, but
yeah,
if Kang being wasted is your reason, that's not good enough.
No, because you can't waste a character that they openly said there is literal a multiverse full of. And this is with, we're gonna bury the lead a little, an after credit scene where they show there's fucking millions of them. What movie did you watch?
All right, so let's cut to the after credit scene because
before we get there, I want to get your honest opinion. Did you think it was weird how they ended this movie? Not the when they're back out, how they kind of got there. Because I get that Cassie knows how to make that thing to get back to them. I kind of thought that maybe they would get them back out in a different movie. Because this kind of seemed like the heroic, I'm going in to save him. We're stuck here. And he literally said, I don't have to win. We just both have to lose.
Okay, so I have a couple thoughts
to you?
I have a couple thoughts on this. Initially, I did think that the movie was going to end with Scott and Hope stuck in the quantum realm. But I thought of like the worst case scenario that they'd be let out in one of the post-credit scenes.
That's what I was actually kind of expecting. I didn't expect them to be let out a minute later. I don't know. It felt weird.
I'll concede to the fact that maybe it seems a bit rushed that like in X amount of time Cassie like immediately, or either Cassie or Hank like immediately had a portal ready to go. But I also think that this movie isn't Logan. They're not going to kill Scott in his final film.
Oh no, I didn't expect. I was actually kind of terrified for a hot second that they were going to, because he would get beat up real bad. But I kind of expected them to be stuck for a little bit, and then like the next time you see them, they're getting them out. Like I didn't expect them to spend like 5 years there. I expected them to be like stuck for like a month. They're helping them do whatever they get there. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I expected them to be kind of stuck there, but I did not expect him to be stuck with Janet. Or, I mean, stuck with Hope.
Hope?
No, I didn't expect to be stuck with Hope. I'm going to be honest with you. That entire time,
you thought it was going to be Cassie?
I fully expected it to be Cassie coming through and just giving the Mike Tyson of all haymakers to him, and they just beat him down, and then he literally freaks. He's like, you're going to be stuck in here. And then they drive home what they've been doing the whole movie, where it's basically Cassie goes, I lost enough time with you. If I'm stuck in here, I don't care. I'm spending time with you. It felt so weird to me. And that's why I was asking about the marriage thing. Why was it Hope doing this big thing when the focus of their movies hasn't been him being so unbelievably madly in love with Hope. It's been Cassie.
Yeah, so I see what you're saying. Like it would have made a lot more thematic sense if now this is only if they don't escape at the end of the movie, that it would be Cass coming through
Yeah.
the portal.
Yeah. It was weird. And like I even like against I have nothing against Hope. It's just even if the portal wouldn't have shut and like when they hit Kang into that thing that they got out as they were going, I'm still weirded out that Cassie wasn't the one that came through. Like at all, that it wasn't Cassie. Cause to me, I'm seeing Cassie going, no, fuck y'all, that's my dad, I'm going. Like, I didn't see hesitation coming from that child whatsoever. She would have been back in there.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Or, like, I partially could have even seen a literal giant man-sized fist come through the portal, just KO Kang, and then she shrinks down and goes, damn, what the hell, let's go.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
Partially, and then you just see Hank's house just demolished because she would have sprouted up from the ceiling. But yeah, it's another thing that I'm going to ask you. I get it that they played it off for laughs, and this will play into the after credit scene that Hank is legitimately worrying. Like, if you're gonna have anyone turn into kind of a nutcase over worrying about that, Hank would be kind of one of the people. Or I mean, Hank, I'm sorry, Scott would be one of the people to be kind of just like, no, guys, listen to me. I fought a time traveler. I swear to God. And did you think that maybe since that was the engine for a time travel thing, that he wasn't actually dead? That to me kind of made it seem like he was just absorbed into it and he would just went poof. Like that would have been his way out.
Kind of like what happened to the Red Skull, that he just got like absorbed
into but in a more sensical way and not a cool cameo. That I thought was kind of weird. Because now it kind of seems like, in a weird way, he was the one that wanted to get out to, like, get rid of other Kangs. It's really interesting that you don't actually know what his intentions were. Because now we'll get to the post-credit scene. They didn't want him getting out. They exiled that one for a reason. And all the ones that are not exiled aren't good people.
Yeah, so now I'm very curious to see what the Council of Kangs are up to.
It's so weird. And it's cool they have that all set up. I will be honest with you. I'm actually genuinely kind of, I don't know if upset's the right word, not a fan whatsoever of the bad headdress Pharaoh Kang.
He does look pretty silly.
He does. With the rest of them, who just kind of look weird, he literally looks like a dude that walked into Spirit Halloween and just was like, I watched Moon Knight once. Like, it was the one where I'm like, this is a major Hollywood motion picture. Why is he dressed like that? He looks more ridiculous than MODOK did.
Now that's saying something.
But were you expecting there to be a second post-credit scene with Loki in it, of all things?
Honestly, I'm kind of 50-50. Like, I still don't know what the plot of Loki season 2 is going to be, but given Kang's, or well, I'll just say it. Given Kang's, presence in the finale of season 1, I imagine that season 2 they'll be running into more variants.
They will be, and I'm wondering if like this is literally a chunk of an episode, because
it might be, actually.
Because in the season finale, season 1 didn't happen. no one knows who the fuck Kang is. But Loki does. And he's got Mobius on his team enough to be like, yo, this guy right here. So I was like, did we really just do a season 2 Loki stinger in the, like, they're making Kang out to be the biggest deal ever.
Yep.
And I'm just like, again, me thinking 40 years in the future here, what the hell do you do after him?
I have no idea, but
that sounds a lot like Galactus.
Yeah, I think Galactus or maybe like some other X-Men force will be next.
It could be. And correct me if I was wrong. Didn't they say Mobius was going to be in Deadpool 3? Did I imagine that?
Keep talking. I'm going to confirm that for myself.
I'm trying to picture how that happens. Because I kind of for a minute just forgot that I was like, they're in the middle of tracking down Kang. What on God's green earth would Mobius be doing in Deadpool 3? Because just like we got the announcement of actress who I don't know what her name is because I literally never heard of her until they announced her being the villain in it. But I was just, now that it's got me even more just like, what?
So I can't find confirmation, but if he is in Deadpool 3, that means they're doing some timey-wimey stuff.
Yeah. It's like someone proposed an end credit scene that made my day on a level I can't even describe. I kid you not. Of like, well, how do they get the X-Men into the MCU? And it's just Deadpool 3's done. It's edited. Like they're over. Somehow he's just in the MCU now. I don't know how, but he's just there. But he's the only one. And then he's just at his computer doing this, and he literally just opens a Fox folder on his desk, clicks on X-Men, and then drags it over to Disney and drops it in a folder. I was like, that's perfect. That's what I want. Don't do anything else. Just that's it. And it'd be like the X-Men were always there.
Now that I would love.
You wouldn't be able to handle me in the theater if that actually happened. I would have to get walked out because I'd be laughing so hard. But yeah, it's like this was so much focused on Kang because it was even Kang will return was the ending thing. I'm like, did you think we didn't know that? You showed 1,000 of them.
Kang will definitely return.
Thanks, Kevin. What's the next movie?
The next movie is...
I honestly forgot.
Oh, Guardians.
Guardians. And I don't... They shouldn't have any reason. That should be just a... This is all over here. You could throw an end credit scene on to do whatever, but I don't see it. That movie just needs to be that movie and nothing else. Because there's a lot that the Guardians have to sift through, including backstories of some characters that they show they're going to go through, and I want it to just be about the Guardians.
I think that's just going to be Guardians 3. It's going to be James Gunn wrapping up his story with his characters.
It's probably going to last Marvel thing. It's going to be the last non-DC thing that James does probably for the next 20 years of his life.
Probably.
He's openly said that like he loved being a writer on a TV or directing a TV show more than a movie. He liked planning stuff out, multiple things, and now he signed on for this. I think James is very okay from stepping away from a director's chair. Unless it's kind of sounding like he might want to do Superman.
It's sounding like that.
You don't get in that position and then have the possibility to do Superman and be like, nah, dog, I'm gonna pass. If like the last one you do is Superman in the new universe that's gonna actually be one solid piece, you're gonna be the tone setter. Because if you don't get Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, and to a degree Green Lantern correct, you're gonna have problems going forward. You need to nail some major tenets. You don't get to take chances kind of like Marvel did, where they just got some stuff and they did good. You have characters that have been in movies long before these Marvel ones have, and people have the most impossible expectations for.
And I honestly have complete faith in Gunn to, I don't want to say fix the DC universe, but
Start a good new one.
Yeah, build a stronger foundation.
Yeah.
But getting back to Quantumania, as someone who has thoroughly enjoyed the Ant-Man trilogy from start to finish, and as someone who loves Loki season 1, I feel like I was like the exact target audience for this movie.
Oh, so was I. I know I've said it multiple times. I'm a sucker for parent-kid relationships, especially dad and daughters, because I want to have a daughter someday. So I thought it was really good. And like I said, I really actually got like hit when Cassie's voice of all things made all of the people be like, no, he's the real one. Cassie's talking to him. This is real. And yeah, I liked it a bit. What was it like? The bombshell, the end all bombshells, the big perfect thing? No. And that goes back to what I said before. A movie can just be good. For crying out loud, a movie can just be good. Like, I'm saying, people are like, yeah, no superhero fatigue, Kevin. Ha 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 ha. I got a rotten rating. I'm like, you know what? A lot of movies that made a metric assload of money got rotten ratings. Michael Bay and the Transformers would like to have a chat. Oh yeah. It's gonna be fine. I don't know, because you just basically got back to the status quo with all of the Ant-Man crew. I don't know where you go with them, or like they're just gonna sit in a holding pattern until
What, the next,
or Secret War.
I mean, we don't have to see them again until well, we're going to see them in King Dynasty, because
Was Secret War, is it King Dynasty afterwards? Am I wrong? Did I get this mixed up?
it's King Dynasty first, then Secret
Okay,
War.
then yeah, then King Dynasty. Yeah, you'll see it again. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was good. It was inventive. It came up with a lot of stuff that I thought, like, one of them I thought was like almost a celestial when I saw it at first, but it wasn't. It was a dude with the like telescoping face.
Oh yeah.
It was just like, oh nope, that's a or not celestial. Yeah, celestial. I thought, like, I didn't know where they were all going. I didn't know the whole thing was just going to be entirely in the quantum realm because it had King. I was like, it could go a lot of different places, but it was oddly concentrated. And I did like that. I did like how they showed that unless swarmed by, again, a giant colony of unbelievably terrifying ants, that Kang can be really OP. He's just undid people with a laser shot.
Yeah.
And OP as hell.
Very.
Yeah, it's good. I would say go out and see it. Somehow, if you're watching this, you haven't seen it. I don't understand why people do that sometimes.
And if you can, see it in 3D.
Mm-hmm. How was the credits?
The credits were just kind of normal.
Okay, because That's one thing that hit me more than anything. Those credits, if they would have applied work to it, looked like they would have been trippy as crap in 3D.
Like the credits before the mid credit scene were pretty cool. It's like the regular credits that were just kind of regular.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah. Sorry about that. There we go. All right. Yeah, it's yeah, I liked it quite a bit. It was good. It was really, really good. So yeah, let's get on out of here. Mike, where can everybody find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Hive at Captain K42. You can check out my quick thoughts on letterbox.com/CoachK42. And you can follow Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and Twitter at Ren Pop Culture. You can also find us on YouTube, on Podchaser, on the Banana Meter. Listen to all of our podcasts on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. You need escape? So do we.
Absolutely. You can find me everywhere at Organoid Zero. If you're watching this and you like Resident Evil, the day of the midnight release on my Twitch channel, which is the same exact thing as the YouTube channel here, I'll be giving away a PS5 Digital Deluxe Edition. You have to be watching the stream and you have to be subscribed. $5 to win something that's worth like $80. I think that's a pretty good deal. All right. Until next time, we will see you all later. Bye.
Peace.